Hello, it's Alex. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope it's not too late to say Happy New Year. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and New Year. We did. Nobody got COVID this year, so that's always a bonus. In fact, apart from colds and sniffles, nobody was too ill. So finally back. I've had quite a long time in between videos. And that has meant, or that kind of leads me to my first point really, which is that I've been having a little think about that. I haven't been as consistent at making videos, certainly in the last few months, certainly not as consistent as I would like to be. And I've spent a little bit of time thinking about why that is and how I can change that. And I've decided that the Friday SEWS format works really well for me, because the thing with Friday SEWS is it's a kind of weekly catch up and a little bit of, you know, what have you done this week and where you're up to, and you don't necessarily have to be showing you something that I've finished. Because what happens with me is I'm in the middle of saying something and I think I can't do a video this week because I haven't finished this garment and I must finish it before the next video. And sometimes then I kind of go into the next thing and it goes on and on and on, and before I know it 2 or 3 weeks have passed and no video. So I will try to do this weekly. I do not promise. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I liked the Friday SEWS format when I did it before, and that's what I'm gonna give it a bash. Let me know if that works for you, or if you've got any thoughts about that. I would really like to know in the comments. So yeah, hopefully you'll see more of me if that's something you want. Anyway, so what I will start off with is what I'm wearing. I think before Christmas I said that I had a couple of Minerva makes that I was in the middle of doing, but I hadn't yet put up on their website, and this was one of them, so it does mean it's gifted fabric in return for a blog on their website, which should be live by the time this video goes up. I saw this, it's one of their exclusive prints that they've started to do in the last few months, and I saw this and it just screamed out to me. I've kind of got a weird relationship with prints. I really love print fabric, but I don't often find a print that I love. So when I do, I kind of grab it straight away. And this one really appealed to me. I feel, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I feel it's a little bit 70s. Maybe that's the colour, or colours. Yeah, it's a loop back French terry, but it's not, you know, some French terry can be super thick and kind of sweatshirt level. This is more like it's lighter than that, but it's heavier than a jersey. It's really nice quality. And this is a Gertie pattern, and it's the Barbie top, and it's a pattern that you get by subscribing to her Patreon. Last year, I think the year before last, I had a Fibre Mood subscription. Every year my mum gets me a subscription to, it's been Burda in the past, and yeah, Fibre Mood last year, as a little bit of a thank you for stuff that I do for her. And this year I thought, or last year I thought, I will do the Gertie Patreon rather than Fibre Mood and see how I got on with that. And she releases a new pattern every month. As always with these Patreon type subscription, there are different levels, and different levels gain you different degrees of access. But I'm pretty sure that all levels give you the new pattern that's released of the month. And I did it for certainly not the whole year. I did it up until probably about 3 months ago. I didn't really find that I was using the patterns, and obviously she has quite a vintage look and a vintage angle to all her styles, and what I found was that I love seeing that on other people, but I'm finding that I wasn't actually using the patterns for myself. However, this one, this Barbie top, I really like, because clearly, as you can see, it's a very fitted, typical kind of vintage silhouette. I don't have the vintage figure, however. really super fitted, and it comes with sleeves of every length, and I think there's even a sleeveless option. It comes with a turtleneck option, but this is the neck, the sort of standard neck, and it's higher than a crew neck, but not as high as a turtleneck, so it's kind of quite snug around the neck there, and I really like that for this time of year. And I wanted something that was comfy and easy to wear, but quite fitted to counteract my wide leg trousers, which, as you probably know, I've got 2 pairs of. And because they're so wide at the bottom, I thought it would be nice to balance them out with something more fitted at the top. Anyway, all the details of it will be over on Minerva's post. There were some slightly odd things with the fit. But anyway, full details will be over there. I really like it. Do you know, one of the reasons I really like this print, or an added bonus with this print, is that it's got navy in it. That darker colour is not, I don't know if it's reading as navy. And I really like navy, but if I wore a solid navy top, it makes me look positively ghostly. I'm pale enough as it is, but it makes me look, cadaverous, which is never a good look. So I avoid it, but because it's in amongst the print, I can wear a bit of navy, and that feels like a nice novelty to me. Now, last time I was on here, I was hoping that I would have the time to make the Delano dress out of that really lovely velvet that I had, and I didn't. I ran out of time. I still really want to make that dress, so it's going to be my next thing after I finish the thing I'm making now, that I'm going to show you in a sec. But yeah, so hopefully that will be next week's project, but I'm not going to make it out of velvet, because it sort of feels like that's potentially a bit Christmassy now. And I don't want to make a dress that I don't then feel that I can't wear till next year. So I'm going to have a little look and see what I've got in my stash, which is upstairs, hence me pointing. So I'll see what I've got up there and make that next week. I did finish making the utility apron from Waffle Patterns. I made it out of a really nice, I want to say combat, that is not the word. What am I looking for? Camo fabric for Ruby, and it was hugely successful and she really liked that, so that was good. And the Heyday dungarees that I made for Grace weren't a great fit on her, which is a real shame, because I do have her measurements. I did make them for her measurements, but she found that they sat too low on her, and they weren't a great fit for her over her tummy. So I left them in the bedroom for me to try on for myself, and my husband, thinking it was oh so clever, tried them on as a joke, and then found himself saying, actually, these are really nice, can you make me some? So whilst he didn't want that particular pair because of the colour, I've now been tasked with making him some dungarees. What he said was, and of course this wouldn't have even occurred to me, was that he said that because he's got a bit of a beer belly, like a lot of men with a tummy, he tends to wear his trousers below the tummy and with a belt. And he said when you're doing sort of jobs around the house or gardening, or he's out in the shed painting, that belt, you know, if you're bending over and doing stuff, is constantly digging in. But then if you loosen it, you're in danger of losing your trousers. So he said when he tried the dungarees on, thinking he was being clever, he realised that of course you don't have any of that, and that they were really comfortable. They were in a stretch cord, so they had a bit of give to them. So where I'm going with this is, yes, I could make him a pair of Heyday dungarees, but they are designed for a female figure. I don't know if that's really relevant, but if there are any men's dungarees patterns out there that you've spotted, please let me know in the comments. That would be really, really useful. If not, I'll make the Heyday ones and hope that there's nothing peculiar about the fit. He wants them in stretch denim, so excuse me when I just kick things. So I need to use stretch denim Just a bit of comfort stretch. So that was good. Anyway, in the much hilarity of him wandering around with his daughter's dungarees on, our son, who was the one who just had his birthday, just turned 20, tried them on thinking he would also be laughing at them, and he also decided he loved them, so much so he's taken them off to uni. And it's kind of strange because we're talking about people that have very different shapes. Jack is 6 foot and pretty slim, and David is not 6 foot and has the tummy. So anyway, same pair of dungarees, worked for both of them, and at least they've gone to a good home. Let me show you what I'm currently making, and it is not finished because it's a Friday SEWS video. I wanted to make a skirt. In fact, let me just show you quickly. I have got this one that I did make. It's another Minerva, so another blog post that will be live over there. It's a Pulmu skirt from Named Patterns, and if you've been hanging around these parts for a considerable amount of time, you might remember that I've made this before. I've got this really beautiful linen one, and I'd sort of forgotten about it, and then lovely Linda, who is Granny Linda Sews on Instagram, mentioned it in a comment in the summer, and I was like, I forgot that skirt. Went and tried it on, fitted beautifully, and then I decided that I'm going to make a winter one. And the reason I like it is that, probably not too easy to see, but it's a pencil skirt, but it has slightly more interesting style lines because it doesn't have a side seam, it has side panels, and it's also designed for stretch woven fabric, and I love a stretch woven just because it's a little bit more comfortable, and I've really enjoyed sewing with corduroy this year. So this is a stretch cord, and it's so lovely and easy to sew, and really nice and easy to wear this. So although, I don't know about you, but for me I tend to think of a pencil skirt as something a bit constricting and officey, I really like the silhouette of it, and because of the stretch it doesn't feel like that, and it's nice and warm and cosy. So I really enjoyed making that. But I'm now in the middle of this one. You know, I will confess, the reason I've been making a couple of skirts is I bought a new pair of boots recently that I really like, and they're knee-length boots. So I wanted to wear things to show off my boots. Anyway. Yeah, so this is the Aimee, I think it's called Aimee skirt from Joli Lab, or Joli Lab. As we know, I am not a connoisseur of French. Well, I am. No, anyway, I don't know much about French sewing patterns. Certainly not the pronunciation. But the reason I like this one is I wanted a skirt that is kind of floaty and A-line-ish. Something not, you know, with drape. But I didn't want one that came with a gathered waist, because for me that is too much bulk around my waist and my tummy, where I least want added bulk. So what I like about this is it has a standard waistband. Well, actually there's two waistband options, but it's a waistband, but it has little side panels here at this kind of area here, and then a couple of pleats coming off the bottom of the side panels. So all the added fullness is a little bit lower down, but you've still got it. So you've still got the nice drapiness, but it's a little bit more fitted around here. And I really like how that looked on all the pattern images. Even though they are a French pattern company, the instructions do come in both languages. So they're kind of bilingual. You get the paragraph in French and then the paragraph in English. I don't think they do a video. If they do, I didn't look at it. If they do a video, I'll put it on the titles. But I have found the instructions to be absolutely fine. The reason well, there's a number of reasons I haven't finished it, mostly time, but I thought I would show you because I have got to unpick. I don't know about anyone else, but if you get to a certain level of experience, you tend to get a little bit blasé, and I look at the instructions. I never print them out, I look at them on computer because I nearly always buy PDFs. I look at the instructions and I go, oh yeah, add the waistband on, fine, job's good, and don't need to read every little step of the way, which is what I did. So it has a seam at the centre back with the invisible zip, and then a waistband. So I put my invisible zip on and I put my waistband on, and then I suddenly realised that the waistband doesn't connect at the top and has no overlap, and it's because the zip is designed to go up to the top edge of the waistband, and I had only sewn it on the skirt body itself. So now I have got to unpick the zip. Anyway, once I've unpicked the zip, all I've then got to do is hem it. I noticed both skirts are made out of brown. That's brown coloured fabric. That's coincidence. This is lovely. It's either a Tencel or a Cupro from Rainbow Fabrics. I bought a lot from Rainbow Fabrics a few weeks ago because I was using a discount code from Ruan, the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and I'll link it below, don't you worry. And this one has got a herringbone texture to it. Hopefully you can see that, but it's got that, if I come out it might focus, it's got that kind of washed silk feel to it, and whilst it will probably be a bit of a pain because it's always going to need ironing, it's been feeling really lovely just sewing it, so I think wearing it will be really nice, and once I've unpicked it and hemmed it, I can wear it with my new boots, and I will show you. Hopefully I'll have done that by next week. No, I should have done it by the end of today, hopefully. Now, what else was there? Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I spotted over Christmas, and while I've not been on YouTube, that lovely Sam Frugalissima and Ali, who was on the Sewing Bee, who is Thimbers on Instagram, have come together with Size Me Sewing, and they have organised a thing called The Gathering in Yorkshire, which is an event happening in April. It's basically an evening where all sewists can gather and have a good old catch up. It's quite sweet because it says no requirement to necessarily make something specially, so it's a non-pressured, just come and have a chat kind of event. So I booked tickets within seconds of seeing it. It's the 15th of April. Yorkshire is probably, or that bit of Yorkshire is probably only an hour's drive away from me, but I am going to book a hotel and stay overnight because even though I don't drink, I don't fancy driving an hour after. I'm normally tucked up in bed by about 10:30, you know. I don't fancy doing the drive, so I'm going to stay over, and I'm thinking, so if anybody else is going, what I'm thinking is, it's a Saturday, I'm thinking of going via Fabworks, which is a fabric shop in Dewsbury in Yorkshire. Now they close at 2 p.m. on a Saturday. Why? I don't know, because that seems mad to me, but anyway they do. So I'm thinking of heading to Fabworks for, well, let's say by at least 1, to kind of have a little bit of a rummage there. And I've mentioned it to a few people, so I think we might try to make that a kind of semi-official stop on the way for anybody who's coming in that direction. So if anyone's coming, let me know if I haven't already spoken to you, because it would be really nice to meet up face to face. I am really looking forward to that. It's one of my New Year's resolutions. I've made no sewing New Year's resolutions at all, really, but I have made a resolution to try and get back into meeting up with the sewing community face to face, because we did it a lot pre-pandemic and it was so nice, and it's sort of gone by the wayside. And who else can you talk endlessly about fabric and patterns and what's your favourite unpicker? and all of that kind of stuff than other sewists, because the family aren't interested, are they? So I'm really looking forward to that. And I think that is about it for me right now. I will see you next Friday, and hopefully I'll have my skirt finished and be well underway, if not finished, with my Delano dress out of a mystery fabric. All right, thank you very much, everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.